Move! Move! Stop! Now, you back like a dog. Woo! 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 Stop! Now, you cry. Whoa! Away! Whoa! Away! Whoa! Away! Stop! Whoa! Away! Stop! I stopped. So too did my hopes of striking a human chord. With me spread eagled on the floor of one of the military vehicles, we made our way through the speed bumps and potholes that filled the road. I was a rag for their doorstep. Sometimes the butts of their guns would have a little barrel with my ribs. The first soldier, who was the leader, issued orders quietly. His pistol kept my wrists busy. The blinding flood of lights hit my face. This was Nile Mansions, the five-star hotel where the top brass lived and worked, indulged themselves, and felt more secure than living among the real people. Don't yet! I took my shoes. The walk into the building was an interesting display. You should have seen it. A soldier at the back, one at the front as well. All around us, imaginary foes that kept them busy. He wants to somersault! He wants to somersault! He wants to... Me, in the middle, encaged in this now spectacular island of steel and human hands, definitely more protected than any African president. Have you been to Israel? The voice sounded almost friendly. Have you been to Israel? I couldn't help but smile, looking at him. Were they more afraid than I? Did they think they were that important? One doesn't have to go to Tel Aviv to fight this ragtag bunch. Still, I would neither confirm nor deny. We finish a final flight of stairs, go through a door into the outer chamber of a bigger office. We have brought him, the man who had come to cause chaos at Makere, and finally met the boss, no less a man than Brigadier David Oite Ojo. His name alone made the blood of many a Ugandan freeze. Sir, some of my friends and relatives fought alongside you during the struggle against Amir. Do you deny that escape from prison? Sir, I have never been to prison. Which prison? You're supposed to be in prison anyway. Have it in your file. The boss gestured to him to move this walking blasphemy out of his office. I was shoved on the small balcony. Dog! 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 Dog, you bloody bandit! Do you deny that you escaped? We've seen you in Nairobi. Do you deny that we've seen you in Nairobi with some exiles? Talk! Talk! Name them! I knew which name they wanted most. Robert Serumaga, playwright, buried in a foreign land, cause of death, dubious. Even in his death, I couldn't betray him. All I could say was, let his soul rest in peace. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Why are you thanking us? Because you know what you're doing. Every silent response earned me another blow. But the pain was getting more and more distant. I had reduced my body to an empty husk, Now I was a little bird perched on a little branch, witnessing perhaps what mankind enjoys most. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Why are you thanking us? Because you know what you're doing. His friend returned with an ashtray full of burning cigarette butts. Bend forward. Put your chin under your knees. They were stuffed into my shirt, all over my back. I remember the story about a Greek Cypriot mercenary on the eve of his execution somewhere in Africa. His sister who visited him couldn't bear to say goodbye. She broke down and wept. All he could say was, "Do not let them see your tears. Remember you're a Greek." The youthful officer approached the scene. "What has he done?" "Sir, among other things, they're accusing me of having escaped from lawful custody. But I have never been to prison. You shouldn't take such drastic steps if you don't have enough evidence." "Chacha, hii mkubwa anachema nini?" It was as though this is the stupidest statement they'd ever heard. They were enraged. They dragged me back to the inner chamber. Promptly explained everything in their mother tongue. The almighty Ojok issued some rapid orders and took one good long look at me. Back at the waiting vehicle, the soldier with the friendly tone leaned over the one to talk to the one in the driver's seat. He says, "Kill." Lord, now let us now thy servant urgent me this. Gentlemen, since I do not have enough time left, could you at least allow me the final look at the morning in the stars? And please, don't hit me inside. All you'll do is deprive me of the pain in the end. Good Lord, these men have humiliated me a great deal. When the moment comes, let me not go like a coward. If nobody else sees my body, at least let my mother see it, so she may not spend the rest of her life thinking I'll one day show her. Shorten the family's grief, Lord, and give them as long and as safe a life as possible. Lie down! I could tell we had reached a major roadblock at Intinda. We are members of the G branch. We are on a mission and we shall be back soon. And so we went through Banda, Kireka, Weogere, and finally stopped in the middle of the road. This was the famous Namambe Forest at St. Henry's College. It was standing room only in the tiny old red brick hall where we usually gathered for bull dances on Sunday afternoons. The television was on. The gates of the Zira maximum security prison were open. The 5 MPs, dubbed the Bantu 5, were free at last. Rumor had it some of them would become cabinet ministers within a matter of hours. Hundreds of other detainees were out too. The cameras were now focused on one man.
What do you get?
I, Edi, Amin, Dada, do so lemonili, for some reason, he spoke no English, but we were prepared to accept this gentle giant. I am not a politician, but a professor, no soldier. Without the local savage, he played the accordion and the bagpipes. They said he was a smash hit in England itself. After sumptuous dinner, by no less a person than his ex-commander-in-chief, Africa's Big Daddy, articulately stood up to express his gratitude. I would like to completely and also address the Queen. When you come to Uganda, we shall do it again. Applauded his sincerity in those early days and laughed, not at him, but with him. As a gesture of his magnanimity, the remains of Sir Edward Mutesa would be returned from exile for the kind of funeral he deserved.
Yeah.
Uganda, may God uphold thee, we lay our future in thy hand. Amin had another appointment with magnanimity. This one came by way of a decree that God airmailed to him by way of a plea, accused of milking the economic cow of the country without feeding it. The Ugandan Asians were given 90 days to leave the country, their pockets empty as their ancestors had been when they came to build the railway. Now, to the next phase, Operation Mafuta Mingi. In droves, people came, queued up, their ethnic and religious stripes clearly displayed. It all happened so quickly, some people found themselves propelled from houseboys to pharmaceutical tycoons. And the shop was setting and prices quadrupled. Amin said, "Where is the governor of the National Bank? You need more money, or you are dead." And he died. The good old watering holes for the illicit Nguli or Nubian gin now really began to flourish. From time to time, I too would walk in and take my place among the customers for the cheap and lethal drink. Did you hear about so-and-so? Yes. How sad. Byron Kawadra was his name. Playwright. But we just returned from a festival in Nigeria. Members of the State Research Bureau arrived at the National Theatre in broad daylight. For every scene he wrote, another tooth was knocked out of his gums. At the end of the exercise, his body was soaked in acid. "Now, Longo, give us another drink. Life is too short." News of the latest victims will be exchanged on Radio Cafe, the grapevine telegraph. Hey, did you hear about so-and-so? Yes. It was sad. It had become the refrain, this new riddle. Hey, did you hear about so-and-so? Now, Longo, one more, please. One for the road, the road of life. You might as well celebrate, otherwise we'll die long before the trigger is pulled. Think about it, friends, especially those of you who may be lucky enough to have been spared the luxury of growing up in countries where no one should. In the early days, the sight of a dead body on your way to school was something you talked about for a long time to come. Time passed, things changed. We found ourselves haunted by images of people shot and abandoned for the vultures. Men with their genitals stuffed into their mouths like Cuban cigars. Others burnt with acid. Pregnant women, bellies ripped apart with bayonets. Alleged foes, naked and chained, paraded on national television before facing a firing squad. Hey, yeah, about so-and-so. Yes. My watering hole visits were reduced now because of my obligations, studies at the university, and rehearsals for a play. But the last time I had been, Nalongo, the bartender, had talked to me about her daughter. She was dating a soldier. The soldier had money and she wanted him to take her shopping. One day, the daughter bought her wish. The soldier said she bugged him too much. So he drove her to Namambe forest. You said you wanted to sew. Let's go! It was getting dark, so he flashed his torch and led her deeper into the forest. They arrived, and there they were, piles of dead bodies all over. Some only newly unloaded, some only dead for a matter of hours. He ordered her to have her pick, from shoes to handbags, watches and necklaces. Then forced her to fill the trunk with valuables and dropped her home. At least she's alive. She's joined the living dead. We all kept quiet, except for one gentleman who stood up and said, "Today it is me, tomorrow it is you. They can't go on killing us yesterday and mounting our daughters tomorrow. When my time comes, I will tell them, you can take my body, but not my spirit." A few weeks later, our play, The Fire Spreads, opened at the National Theatre. A different kind of fire was spreading. During the second act, I was backstage putting my costume on, when all of a sudden I heard a thunder-like sound. Zwoo! More deafening sounds. Zwoo! Zwoo! The Tanzanian army and the Ugandan exiles were closing in on both Kampala and Entebbe. 8 years and 500,000 deaths later, Idi Amin was out of office. A new provisional government was in power. The nightmare was over. Exactly 68 days later, Professor Nule, the first provisional president, was put under house arrest and sent into exile. What is stalwarts now started to appear in prominent. No immigration officer is allowed to do this, but because you teach our children, I'll let you go. But next time, when will that be? With my arm found in the sling, I leaned through the corridor and behind the door for my first pee on Kenyan soil. Here is to freedom. That evening, we knock on the door of the Rubadiris at Hurlingham. Lazarus has come to see you. The whole family gathers, all sure glad to see me. David too is short of words. My son, you are larger than life. Do you feel sorry for yourself, my son? No. Here, this is more important than the medicines. He opens a bottle of brandy. Places something on the cant table. A deep Welsh voice booms its way through the African night. Do not go gentle into that good night. Old age should burn and brave at close of day. Rage, rage against the dying of the light. If there was rain that night, I didn't hear it. Two little birds stood guard outside my window. Their sweet song cut my dream short. But I do remember seeing a stepmother hastily pack and desert her home after an abominable act, to live like a pariah for the rest of her life. Then I saw a beautiful young figure. Her song sounded familiar. Anyo-yo, anyo-yo, anyo-ya itakumutunga, kumutunga kuliko singegwire muwala wambaire.
The lady I'm going to introduce wouldn't have this play. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for George Seremba's mother. Story rich. We are forever grateful.
Wow.
And yeah, so for those who will be coming for our master classes and other sessions, we get to hear more of George's story. And in his own words, for those who listened to, who watched TV yesterday, he was talking about his life story and how most of this is related to his real life story. And once again, we are forever grateful, Mama, for you coming, and we look forward to, do you have some more sons? Yeah, maybe you should adopt me. All right. And in the house, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much, Mama. In a special way, I would like to thank and recognize the presence of Honorable
Twagikwatako ku lutambi emyaka giyiseeko kati naye nga nali nzanyira bayitayo Providence, Rhode Island. Amanyi ku America eri ku East Coast eya New England States. So twakola netugamba tukuume ebyafaayo naye omanyi bw'oba n'obutambi bwe butyo bukuyamba kati nga bw'ofuna ekizibu oba mwagala oba ng'ojjanga wano nga bwe nazze. Era aka katambi ke kansooka okutuuka abantu abanyambye kuba tukola nga ttiimu ne baba nga batunuulira ki akatambi kati okuva akatambi naye wootukira okulinnya mu bintu nga bamanyi olulimi lwe mulimu balutegeera. Bwe tutyo ne bwe twakola kati era nze kuba nasikatiramu olw'amateeka gano aga visa amapya mbadde ndudde okuyitako e Uganda. Nagenda okulaba etteeka nga likyuse kale nenfiirwa ennaku nga 3 nga nina okukwata nyonyi ndala ndyoka ate nzije wano. Kale nentuuka nga obudde buyiseemu naye bannaffe babadde balungi ne batuyamba ne tusobola okufuna essaawa eziri gundi extra okusobola okutereeza obulungi ebintu okubazannyira. Olwaleero olunaku lubadde luyitirivu nze mu bulamu bwange kuba naye lwotanga nti ndijja nenzannyako eka nti ndijja nensobola okubuulira abantu ebyantuukako wano naddala wano we tuli ne mu theatre mwennyini nga bwolabye ne theatre yennyini naye ate mweri muzanyi. Baffe twali wano mu Maachi mu 7 nga tuzannya afternoon ate nzijukira ne maama yennyini yali wano. Kati maama tubaffe tuli ku stage bomu ne zatandika okugwa mu Maachi omwezi ogwo bomu ne zigwa abantu ne bamu ne bafuluma ne bavaamu abalala baasigalawo. Maama ne anti wange omu bo baasigala ne baguma ne tumaliriza omuzannyo. Bwe twamala ne tudda awo mu parking lot awo nze nali olwo nga nsoma Makerere. Maama twawukanye agenze Olubaga jjajja gye yabeeranga naffe tugenze Makerere. Bwe tutyo twagenda okulaba nga nate ng'olutalo lwatandika.
Kati olunaku olwaleero maama wo yennyini yaliwo nga wano
yaliwo mu byonna nga bwolabye muzannyo. Maama omuzannyo gujjudde maama ne famire abandabirira ng'ekizibu kituuse. Kale abaddewo Mukama n'olwekyo neebaza Omukama nti nsobodde okubeerawo ne nsobola okugutuusa wano n'abagulimu abamu nga bakyaliwo nga balamu. Kale ebyo tebitera kulabika n'olwekyo ndi musanyufu. Ate okubeera mu bantu eka wano ndabye ogamba kirina okulaba ebyewuunyo byeteetegekedde. Bw'wali obaddeko omuzannyo mu theatre nga kumpi buli line okumala eddakiika nga 2 buli line abantu bagitegeera mu ngeri ati ogamba esinga evuganya naawe engeri gy'ogitegeeramu. Kale nfunye olwaleero nfunye emikisa miyitirivu ndi musanyufu era nja kuddayo bulungi ate ndowooza bwe tulikomawo ate tubawe n'omuzannyo omulala oba naguno abatasobodde kutuuka. Kati no tulina ffe okugenda maama gyali waggulu obadde omwetaaga gyali waggulu tujja genda bakulageyo munyumyemu kale
Then cut.